Mike Tyson could have knocked him out there. Jake Paul's chin was wide open, but then Mike Tyson realised, just as he was about to throw that punch, that, oh no, I'm getting paid lots of money, I can't knock him out. So ridiculous, mate. This video has been sent to me so many times. It's went viral. People saying that Mike Tyson couldn't knock him out. See, it was a scam. It was a scripted. But if you know boxing, you'll know exactly what's happened right here. Mike started to throw the punch as Jake Paul was moving, and he realised in that split second that if I throw this punch, it's going to miss because he's moving out of the way. So what did he do? Decided not to throw the punch.
New footage has surfaced, showing something nobody expected, Tyson holding back, and not just once or twice, there were multiple moments where he had the perfect opportunity to throw a punch, and he didn't.
The fight was not rigged. The reality of it is we watched a 27-year-old man fight a 58-year-old man. No matter the name, we was expecting to see a Mike Tyson from 2 years ago who looked pretty good, while he was also fighting another 50-year-old man. Even Jake Paul realized, I think after the first round or two, he was like, oh shit, this is not the Tyson I was expecting. Let me not even try to knock him out because I don't want to hurt him.
This analysis isn't about rehashing the fight blow by blow. It's about the questions that have emerged since. Did Tyson intentionally restrain himself? Was Jake Paul's defense better than anyone thought? Or is there more to this news? And how does this all fit into the larger conversation about exhibition fights, legacy, and the blurred lines between sports and entertainment? From the fight footage that's sparking outrage to the reactions from fans and professionals alike, we'll uncover the moments that have everyone questioning what really happened in that ring. And it's not just about Tyson. This fight may have bigger implications for Jake Paul's future in boxing.
Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul was the worst fight I have ever watched, and I live in Frankston. I've seen domestics at the train station that were more thrilling than that. Dude, Mike Tyson was moving like Joe Biden walking through the sand at the beach. Jake Paul was throwing jabs like an aged care worker at a government-funded facility. And Mike was just getting hit in the head, chewing on his gloves like a pit bull chewing on a toddler.
When you look at the footage closely, it's hard not to notice how Mike Tyson held back during the fight. There were clear moments where he had Jake Paul in his sights, ready to land those devastating punches we all know him for. But instead of letting loose, he stepped back, reset, or chose lighter, almost casual jabs. For Tyson, this is strange. For fans, it's frustrating. And for boxing purists, it raises serious questions.
Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, it's come out now. It was rigged. I can't believe it. You know, you have to question the validity of boxing these days when you can't trust two professionals to get in the ring and do their best against each other. And instead you find out Mike Tyson pulling his punches, not trying to hurt Jake Paul. Absolute disgrace. I thought better of them. You know, I really did. I thought that Mike Tyson, especially, Iron Mike, he was just going to go in there and knock Jake clean out. But here he is, not trying. I'm so disappointed in him. But you don't need to take it from me. Let's look at the footage. Some boxing genius has put this together so we can all expose it.
The footage highlights a pattern, Tyson hesitating at critical moments. In the second round, there's a moment where Jake Paul is wide open. Tyson moves in, his right hand loaded and ready, but he stops. Instead of firing off the punch that could have turned the fight, he pulls back. Was this hesitation, a conscious decision, or something else entirely? It's unlike the Tyson we've seen before, the fighter who rarely misses a chance to attack. Let's be clear, this isn't about Tyson's age or conditioning. Sure, he's 60, but that hasn't stopped him from looking sharp in recent training videos. In those clips, he's fast, precise, and explosive. Watching him train, you'd think he was gearing up to dominate. But what we saw in the fight didn't match that energy. It's left fans wondering, where did all that speed and aggression go? The idea that Tyson might have been holding back deliberately isn't a wild theory. Many fans are pointing out how exhibition fights often come with unspoken rules. They're meant to entertain, not injure. Could Tyson have been pacing himself to avoid hurting Jake Paul? Maybe. But even that doesn't explain the way he hesitated time and time again when the openings were right there in front of him.
Paul versus Mike Tyson was rigged, and I found the leaked script. In the whole lead up to this fight, people always question, was this fight real? Is Mike gonna be able to compete? Is he too old? Is Jake gonna knock him out? Is Jake gonna lose? But it seems like we finally got our answer. As you can see, just hours before the fight, Dylan Daddis managed to predict the whole fight to a T, thinking that no one was going to get hurt and it was going to be just simply a...
Tyson has always been a strategic fighter, but this time his strategy seemed different. Instead of going for the knockout, he stayed reserved, almost careful. Was he protecting Jake, protecting himself, or simply playing along with the tone of an exhibition match? The footage doesn't give us all the answers, but it does make one thing clear: this wasn't the Tyson everyone expected to see. Fans are dissecting every clip, replaying the fight over and over, trying to figure out what really happened. Was this restraint part of the plan, or was Tyson genuinely outmatched? Either way, the footage tells a story that has left fans divided. Jake Paul later addressed the rigged rumors. He said the fight wasn't rigged and defended himself by pointing to his defensive skills. According to him, Tyson couldn't throw punches because Jake's movement and defense made it impossible. But let's be real, does that explanation really hold up? People aren't buying it, especially with everything else that went down in that fight. Here's the thing, Jake Paul has built his entire brand on stirring the pot. He knows how to get people talking, and he thrives on controversy. So when he whispered those words, it felt like he knew exactly what he was doing. Whether it was meant as a playful jab or something more serious, it added fuel to the fire. Fans who were already questioning the fight's legitimacy now had even more reason to suspect something wasn't right.
Yeah, that shit.
Yeah, and people are like, oh, it's rigged because look at him on the pads, but he didn't do this in the fight. Because someone is fucking punching back, you dumb fucks. Like, people don't realize my power.
That is true.
And my jab and my speed and my ability and my footwork to get out of the way of those punches. So then all of a sudden he's throwing at literally air. He can't land those punches on me.
Was he hard to hit?
He was hard.
This one moment has divided opinions even further. Some say Tyson didn't need to do much because it was just an exhibition fight. They argue that he's 60 years old and shouldn't be expected to go all out in a match like this. But others believe there's more to the story. They point to the fact that Tyson looked sharp in his training videos and seemed fully capable of delivering a stronger performance. So why didn't he? And why would Jake bring up money right after the fight? It feels too coincidental. Paul's explanation about his defense being too good for Tyson has also been met with skepticism. Sure, Jake is younger and has been training hard, but Tyson is a heavyweight legend. His punches have taken down some of the best fighters in history. The idea that he couldn't find a way around Jake's defense seems hard to believe for a lot of people. It's not that Jake didn't fight well, it's that Tyson's performance didn't feel like the Tyson we know.
He was elusive. I was missing
I can't believe he can move like that.
a lot of punches. I don't know how he gets off to the side like
You know what's
that.
impressive is after he gets off to the side, and then he'll come up and parry a little bit.
Yeah.
Like he's still like tuned in with his defense. His defense was impregnable, impetuous.
That's good.
Yeah.
The tension between what fans expected and what they saw has turned this post-fight moment into one of the most talked about parts of the event. The whisper, the excuses, and the lingering questions have created a storm of opinions. Was Jake just being his usual self, playing games to keep his name in the headlines? Or was this fight part of a bigger plan to protect both fighters' reputations and keep things safe? As these questions swirl, the backlash has only grown stronger. People are digging deeper into Tyson's performance, comparing it to his past fights and analyzing every second of the footage. In the next section, we'll get into how this backlash unfolded and why Tyson's low punch count has become such a big deal. The numbers don't lie, and they've become a big part of the conversation around Mike Tyson's performance. He threw less than 100 punches during the entire fight and landed even fewer, barely 80. For a fighter of his caliber, this felt out of place. Tyson has always been known for his explosiveness, but those stats painted a different picture. Fans weren't just surprised, they were disappointed.
I'm sorry, yeah, but talk about bullshit. This fight, you're telling me that the one and only, one of the best boxers of all time, only threw 97 punches, and you're telling me this gimp threw 278? But not only that, you're going to tell me as well that Tyson only landed 18. Percentage of 18%.
One of the biggest criticisms came from the stark contrast between Tyson's pre-fight training videos and what he showed in the ring. In those clips, he was a machine. Quick combinations, powerful jabs, and lightning-fast footwork. People were hyped, expecting to see flashes of the old Tyson. Instead, they got a much more reserved version of him. This has left fans asking, was it just age catching up with him, or was there more going on? Age is, of course, a factor. At 58, nobody expected Tyson to fight like he did in his prime, but here's the thing, his speed at the start of the fight caught people off guard. In those opening moments, Tyson moved like he had something to prove. He was sharp and looked ready to dominate, but then, as the rounds went on, that fire seemed to fade. By the middle of the fight, Tyson was slower and his aggression had dropped. Was it fatigue, strategy, or something else entirely?
Day 4, it was okay, but you don't know what you got in store, baby. You got to face the God of War and get ready, baby. Fire in the house.
What really frustrated fans, though, was how much Tyson seemed to ease up once Jake Paul started hugging him. Every time Tyson got close enough to land a big shot, Jake would grab him, killing any momentum. Tyson, instead of fighting through it, seemed to accept it. For many, this was the biggest letdown. It wasn't the Tyson they remembered, the relentless, unstoppable force who didn't let anything get in his way. This led to a wave of backlash on the line. Fans called out Tyson for playing it safe and criticized him for not taking more risks. Some said it felt like Tyson wasn't even trying to win. They couldn't reconcile the fighter who once ruled the ring with the one who held back during so many crucial moments. The low punch count only made things worse, as people pointed out how little he did compared to his past fights.
Paul, not realizing that he is, well, Mike Tyson is an OAP. He's an old man and had no right to be in the ring. And Jake Paul is in his prime. Drink prime. So it was... I thought it was just, the whole thing was embarrassing, especially that Jake took the fight. But it's Jake. Jake doesn't give a shit. He has no shame. He's going to just, I think he's looking to maybe even fight Speed. His manager, Nikisa, is there like, yeah, bro, if Speed's on it, we're down. It's Jake. He doesn't care. He's had actual boxers wanting to fight him. Beterbiev has called him out to fight. Yeah. Dubois has called him out to fight. So he's not going to fight any of them.
Still, some fans defended him, saying it's not fair to expect a 60-year-old man to fight like he used to. They argued that exhibition matches are supposed to be fun, not brutal. But even that defense didn't hold up for everyone. Fans who paid to watch wanted more than just a casual sparring session. They wanted a glimpse of Tyson's greatness. And for many, that never came. The backlash wasn't just about Tyson's performance. It also brought up bigger questions about these exhibition fights. Are they really about showcasing skill and competition? Or are they just money-making events with no real stakes? Tyson unfortunately bore the brunt of these frustrations, while Jake Paul managed to escape most of the criticism. I love Mike Tyson, but they giving him too much credit. He looked like trash to train that long and only throw 97 punches. The whole fight is crazy. Crawford's main issue wasn't just with Tyson's lack of aggression, it was the overall effort, or lack thereof. Tyson barely threw 100 punches and landed even fewer. For someone with his reputation, that's hard to defend. Some people excused it by saying, he's 60, what do you expect? But others pointed out that Tyson looked quick and explosive in training. If he could show that energy in clips, why not in the ring? The backlash hasn't been all negative. There's still a lot of respect for Tyson simply getting in the ring at his age. These boxing matches are more about fun than competition, and he didn't have to do this. But Crawford, like many others, doesn't think that's enough. He believes fans deserved more than what they got. They wanted to see the real Tyson, even if just for a few moments. Instead, he looked cautious, avoiding big risks.
Throughout my years of watching boxing, because I saw this with Larry Holmes, with Muhammad Ali, along with various others, I saw Jake looking over at Mike Tyson, and it was almost as if he said, I can't do this. I can't do this to him. He is 31 years older than me. I'm really taking advantage. He's not what he used to be. I'm not going to do that to him. And I was actually very proud of Jake for doing that. That's what I saw. Are you confirming that's what you saw?
Yeah, that's what I saw. That's exactly what I saw. And people are saying it's scripted. I don't think it was scripted when these guys sat in the room and said, okay, this is how the fight's gonna go, punch for punch, like it's a movie. But what did happen was Jake recognized what you just mentioned, and he made game time decision to choose Mike's well-being, the well-being of how he's going to be received from the general public and more specifically the boxing public over the cheers and everybody saying it was a great event. He had to choose one and he chose right because it wouldn't have been good. And I personally, if something happened to Mike Tyson in that ring, it was going to be real hard for me to hold my composure when I got that mic to close out that event.
Some fans have defended Tyson, and they argue that Jake Paul's style threw him off. Jake spent most of the fight tying Tyson up in clinches, preventing him from getting into a rhythm. When Tyson tried to build momentum, Jake would grab and hold, slowing everything down. Critics like Crawford, however, see this as an excuse. They believe Tyson could have done more, even with Jake's defensive tactics. The mixed reactions highlight just how divisive this fight has been. While some see Tyson's effort as disappointing, others are just glad he didn't get hurt. For many, the bigger issue isn't Tyson's age or performance. It's how exhibition fights like this are marketed. Fans were sold on the idea of seeing the old Tyson, the knockout king. What they got instead was a watered-down version of the legend. As for Jake Paul, he came out of this fight relatively unscathed. He dodged the backlash that Tyson faced and got to walk away with his reputation intact. For now, all eyes are on what he'll do next. But the questions surrounding Tyson's performance won't fade anytime soon.
Start to take your foot off the gas just a little bit because you noticed he was tiring out?
Yeah, definitely a bit. You know, I wanted to give the fans a show, but I didn't want to hurt someone that didn't need to be hurt.
Did you feel Mike's power at all?
No.
This fight didn't just impact Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, it sparked a bigger conversation about the future of boxing. Fans and experts alike are asking tough questions. What does a fight like this say about the sport? And where do these high-profile exhibition matches fit in the world of professional boxing? For Tyson, the implications are personal. His legacy is built on being one of the most feared and skilled boxers in history. But this fight left many questioning if it was worth it for him to step into the ring again. The footage of him holding back, the low punch count, and the backlash from fans, it's all taken a toll. While some believe Tyson's legacy is untouchable, others feel this fight chipped away at his reputation. Was it a final attempt to give fans one last show, or did it leave people wanting something he can't give anymore?
What was your thoughts on him getting back in the ring at 58?
I did catch the fight. It was hard to see him so old. You know, Ray Jones Jr. kept saying it, man, those legs aren't working. It was really hard to see. He really sold it, you know, with the highlight videos from training and his physique.
As for Jake Paul, the fight was a win in more ways than one. He left the ring with his reputation intact, even gaining respect from some fans for going toe-to-toe with a legend. The backlash focused more on Tyson, leaving Jake to plan his next move. He's already made a name for himself as a polarizing figure in boxing, but this fight solidified his position as someone who can draw a crowd. The question now is, who's the next? Jake has plenty of options, but with this win under his belt, he's likely aiming even higher. Then there's the bigger issue. These events are often marketed as exciting, nostalgic, and must-watch, but they're rarely about real competition. Fans pay to see legends like Tyson, but what they get doesn't always live up to the hype. This fight has reignited the debate over whether these matches are good for boxing or just a way to cash in on big names. Are they hurting the sport's credibility, or are they giving boxing a new audience it desperately needs?
What up, y'all? Hey, we saw what happened tonight. Mike came out, gave it all he had. His legs, you could tell, weren't really with him tonight, so it was a little bit difficult. But thank God Jake didn't knock him out, because I would have felt bad for Jake, because Andre Ward was definitely going to go after Jake if he did knock Tyson out. So thank God he didn't. Thank God everybody ended up healthy, happy. Now I ain't got to worry about Andre coming out of retirement no time soon. So we all.
Looking ahead, the impact of this fight will be felt for a while. Tyson will need to decide if this was his last time in the ring. Jake will likely continue building his career, choosing opponents that keep him in the spotlight. And for boxing fans, the fight serves as a reminder to question what they're really getting when they tune into these headline-grabbing events. For Tyson, the fight will be remembered as a complicated moment in his career. His legacy remains intact, but this performance didn't add to it. It felt more like a farewell than a fight. Fans wanted to see a glimpse of the old Tyson, and while there were flashes of his brilliance, they weren't enough to satisfy the hype. Jake Paul, on the other hand, continues to rise. Love him or hate him, he's managed to stay at the center of attention. The fight with Tyson gave him credibility in the eyes of some fans, even if others remain skeptical. What's certain is that he knows how to play the game, both inside and outside the ring. It's clear these events aren't going anywhere, but they'll need to find a way to balance entertainment with authenticity if they want to keep the fans on their side. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. More videos are on screen now.